Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for Omega Bear. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I can. And for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm trying to get these out as soon as possible. And it could be for pretty much any type of video, topic, reaction, video game playthrough, tier list, ranking, movie review, re-review, whatever the case. And Omega Bear wanted me to talk about Marathon Man, a 1976 film. John Schlesinger directed it, who did Midnight Cowboy with Dustin Hoffman. He did The Believers, which I do like. I think that's a bit of an underrated film dealing with voodoo, starring Martin Sheen. That I think it was out on Blu-ray at one point, but it was so expensive because it was like some stupid label. I forgot what the hell they were. And that was that stupid label that first had the Fright Night on Blu-ray and Twilight Time or something like that, I believe. That's a film that could be re-released, The Believers. And then he also directed Pacific Heights with Michael Keaton, which I thought was a good movie. Michael Keaton definitely stole the show as Carter Hayes. Now, sadly, the director's passed away, but this is definitely a big film for him back in the day. And the cast, you got Dustin Hoffman, which I liked him as an actor. Loved him in Outbreak. I even liked films like Sphere and Rain Man I could watch. Very good actor. Roy Scheider, which I love in Jaws and Blue Thunder, and 2010 The Year We Made Contact. He was in the Thomas Jane film The Punisher. You got William Devane, who was in the 70s film Rolling Thunder, which I know Tarantino's a big fan of that movie. Laurence Olivier, great accomplished actor that I believe he was dying at this point. Like, he's very sickly ill. But he really wanted to do this because he wanted to work and at least do one more movie. And he actually lived quite a few years after, because the prognosis was he was going to pass away very soon. But he did live, I believe, quite a few years after this. And actually, let me look real quick. What year did he pass away? 1989, so... Yeah, they said he only had months, and then whether it was the drive to keep doing stuff and keep doing movies or whatever the case, he lived up until 1989. So there you go. But this is a film that most people will know for the phrase, "Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe?" Because of a certain dentistry, certain scene dealing with teeth and torture. Now, I would say at the end of the day, I did not mind the film. I liked it for what it is. I do think the film is a bit long. I do think that the film feels like it takes a bit for it to get going. Roy Scheider, I kind of wish he was in the film more, or I guess probably wish we could have seen him throughout the film, but I did why for the story reasons. It's just that aside from a few scenes, it does feel like the first half feels a bit more like Roy Scheider's movie, and then it becomes Dustin Hoffman's movie. Maybe that was done on purpose, to be fair, because the first scene is Dustin Hoffman, of course. He's a history student. He's also a runner. He likes to run for possible marathons. And he is the brother of Roy Scheider's character. Now, he thinks Roy Scheider is just this businessman, but unbeknownst to Dustin Hoffman, Roy Scheider is his government agent who is working for William Devane. And the job that Roy Scheider has is he's supposed to be this courier of these diamonds that's going to possibly lead to some stuff including this Nazi war criminal played by Laurence Olivier. But Laurence Olivier's... I forgot about this because I've seen this once before. Laurence Olivier's brother, he's just driving, and then this guy is like the biggest case of road rage. Like this escalated quickly where, oh, you German bastard. They just finally goes into like a damn Fast and Furious, like, French chin at you, fuck out of you. And they're both yelling at each other. I'm like, damn, this escalated quick. Shit. I guess because one guy's Jewish and the other's German. It's like, oh, blah, 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 you know. Leads to an oil truck, some explosion. Both of them die. And the brother had this key. And now cut to Laurence Olivier finding this out. Well, we don't directly cut to that. That's later. Find this out and need to come out of hiding in order to try to get to these diamonds. And by doing so, his couriers are dying. Just to kind of hide the identity of Olivier's character. So killing one who meets with him. Meanwhile, we did a bit of Dustin Hoffman as a history student where he's in class talking about his dad, which his dad passed away from ending his own life. It was a bad day for all of us, sir, when he's talking to the teacher. Now, I thought the whole bit with his dad, I thought it was going to play out in some deeper way throughout the film. It really doesn't, because I'll be honest, I don't even know why it's in the film. I'm sure there's something that I didn't get and it passed over my bald head, but it doesn't really come into much play other than a bit where Roy Scheider and Dustin argue about what Dustin's doing with his life. It's not like later on he's going to do something to prove the merit that his dad didn't have, or maybe there's a moment where he thinks of doing what his dad did, but he realizes he's not his dad, he's stronger than his dad, or he thinks differently than his dad, or he has a different identity than his dad. Kind of like the game. Like the game with Michael Douglas, they showcase a bit of that, but they actually went to something, and there was a reason why they delved into that for the finale of the film, not to give away that movie. Here, it's just kind of this whole thing with the father and what happened to him. It's probably referenced like 2 more times. One in the argument with him and Roy Scheider, who's coming to town to see his brother. And then there's another moment where he's pontificating about stuff and thinking about his dad. But like I say, it doesn't really bring much in terms of the full story, the rest of the story, the villains in the movie. Something that is going to make our character grow because of, again, he's going to do what his dad couldn't do, what his dad didn't do, psychosis-wise, character-wise. So again, it just makes me go, why was this even in the movie? Why was this? I guess just to give a bit more to the lead character. I guess just to give a little bit more depth that this is what he thinks about. I guess maybe you say that's all it needs. But anyway, even when I first saw this, I thought something about that was going to lead to something more. What about, like, his dad was really, I don't know, either Dustin Hoffman would contemplate doing what his dad did, or something else to that effect, but that doesn't really come into play. Now, what I said before, where it felt like it was more Roy Scheider's movie at the first half. Like I said, you do have a couple scenes with Dustin Hoffman running a bit, or his history class, or he meets this girl named Elsa. But we dive a bit more into Roy Scheider and his story, which just makes sense considering what's going to happen, so that we get to know him, we get to perhaps care about him, get to delve a bit into him, so he's not just a one-note person. But we know his job, we know one of his associates, William Devane, and it's either this bomb that happens near him, or there's this person he's supposed to meet and he's dead and then he's got to get out of there. One scene I thought was pretty well done is this woman's coming by him and he's telling her it's not safe, get out of here. So he kind of looks and sees her disappear into the darkness. I guess this is spoilers. Spoilers for a film from 1976, so spoilers throughout. Starting now, spoilers. When she goes in, we hear something, and Rory's like, hey. And then you see, like, a soccer ball being thrown out. Now, granted, part of me is like, where the hell did the soccer ball come from? What are they? Goal! Yes. What, the batters are playing, hacky sad with the soccer ball? I thought maybe if it was something that the woman had, and then they threw it out, that would be more effective. I'm wondering where the fuck did the batters just carry soccer balls with them? It's like, fuck you, Roy, for not doing Jaws 3. Hasn't come out yet. Well, still. But I like the idea. I like the idea of someone disappears in the darkness. We hear something. We're like with Roy. We don't know what's going on. And then we get the idea that someone answered in a way that was... I mean, if you want to consider soccer ball a threat, just depending if you tell someone it's football or soccer. It's football, damn it. We call it soccer, god damn it. But the way that was staged and the timing I thought was nicely done. There's a bit where he almost gets strangled and he gets his hand cut by this wire. There's a bit of a fight he has with this assailant. And the blood really flew. I mean, it flew violently. Like, blood just splashed everywhere. And nice to see Roy Scheider get a bit physical. Because he didn't really get to do that a whole lot in the... Well, maybe the French Connection and the 7-Ups, but like in Jaws and Blue Thunder in 2010, there's just no time to be the physical bit of action hero guy. So it's nice to see him kind of have his almost kind of kung fu stance or something. But I mean in a good way, because he had a good stance and Lily was in good shape and he held his own. So it's nice to see Roy do a bit of that. I guess also I would like to have seen Roy in it more, because the few bits he has with Dustin, I thought they worked well together. Like when they meet up and they're horsing around, they kind of go around in a circle trying to... And Dustin like hits his bad hand and Roy's like, ow! And like they're horsing around with each other. I thought they worked well together. It just would have been nice to see more of them. I guess for me, the movie I would like to have seen was that Roy has doubts on this girl, Elsa. But maybe she gets killed. And Roy was wrong about his doubts, but at the same time he's got to protect his brother. So it's the two of them on the run. And that way you get more into the whole father thing. And why did the father end his life. And why Roy thinks one way and Dustin feels another way, and then kind of avoiding from these guys. You still have the dentist scene, but then Roy comes in to save him, and then Roy gets wounded, but then Dustin has to go save his brothers because now he's got to man up while his brother's been doing it the whole time. So now Dustin Hoffman's got to man up and deal with the Nazi war criminal. But this is a film considered a classic by everybody else, so obviously I'm going to be in the minority on that. But I don't think this is a bad film. I don't mind the film. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. If I hate it, trust me, I would say I hated it. Because, hell, speaking of, for example, with Roy Scheider, the French Connection, I actually prefer the second one. I like the French Connection 2 a lot more than the first one. The first one, other than the acting and the car chase, I'm not really big on it. I don't think it's bad. It's just I never rewatch it again. But French Connection 2, I like the story more. William Friedkin, who had nothing to do with this, I don't like The Exorcist. I actually prefer The Hunted with Tommy Lee Jones with William Friedkin films. My point is that if I liked it, I liked it. If I don't, I don't. I'm going to say it. And this, I don't mind. Because I think Dustin Hoffman does a good job. He really sells that innocent quality. And you really buy him, being over his head. He has this bit of naivete, but at the same time, he's not. It's not that he's stupid or anything. It's just that he's got in over his head, trying to do the best he can in these circumstances, and nice moments for him to shine. Like when, I've said spoilers, when Roy Scheider's been stabbed and he gets to Hoffman's apartment and Hoffman's trying to help him, and he's talked with the cops, and you see Hoffman just losing it. How many times do I keep asking me these questions and all this other stuff? You could buy why he's feeling that way, because he just saw his brother dead, and he's tired of being asked questions, and when there's moments that he's got to get his rage out, like when he finds out who Elsa really is, and he loses it, you buy into it. He's a guy that is easy to feel sorry for, and so it's easy to root for. When a short time later, he's captured and tortured, and as we get the whole thing where Laurence Olivier, who does a good job, keeps asking, is it safe? Is it safe? I like that, Hoffman, at first I don't know what you're talking about, then he's like, no, it's not safe. It's not safe at all. And then there's another point, it's absolutely safe. Like, he tells him anything he wants and it doesn't matter. Because he doesn't know. He tells him both times what he thinks the guy wants to hear. Now, if this film was made nowadays, I'm sure there'd be a lot more detail in the torture in terms of we would see with the teeth what happens. So I don't think the torture works as, at least for me, doesn't work as intense as, I'm sure at the time it was a very intense scene. A lot of people talk about how intense this scene is. And granted, the acting is good. The sound design on the drill whirl, is good. You definitely feel for Hoffman's character. I think when I first saw this, it got built up so much of how intense the scene is. When I did watch it, go, oh, okay. Not that that was bad, it's like, because I'm not a product of 1976. I'm not in the mindset of seeing it. I can understand in 76 that was intense for people back then. I understand that. But I'm not going to lie, oh my God, I was so scared, because I wasn't. I respected, I did what people felt that then, but I can only give my review, my mindset of, nowadays when you see, hell, I'm more cringe at the dentist with fucking the guy from Major League, Corbin Burnson. That gets me more. Because you actually see up close of the teeth being destroyed. I'm like, ooh, shit. And that's a movie that's a bit more of like a horror but comedic. Because Corbin Burnson's fun in it. But those scenes are just, like, it's hard for me to watch those scenes. And it's like, oh, fuck. I just thinking about it, I go, eeh. God damn. Making my own teeth hurt just think about it. But I don't think it's a bad scene. It's just, in retrospect, I don't know if a person who's younger would see that and would look at it as intense as someone who first saw this and back in the day. Now, it's not an action-packed movie. I mean, the cover has Dustin Hoffman with a gun. It's not that kind of movie. There's some in it that's decent. I mean, he at one point Dustin Hoffman. Well, you again, the one Devane you find out, you think he's helping Dustin Hoffman, and you realize it was a ploy to try to get some answers. He's really working for Laurence Olivier. Brings it back in. Guys tortured some more. They're ready to kill him somewhere. He escapes, and finally uses his marathon running. Finally using a bit of that, which I thought that was an aspect of they set something up, they follow through. Even the bit of footage where you have the guy from the Olympics, I believe he was in Germany, was in the Olympics, and you see footage of him running, similar to how now Dustin Hoffman's running. And you see him just trying to keep up the pace, and at one point jumping from one embankment to the other, and see, that's a way of setting something up and following through, which I didn't mind that. Thought that was one of the better scenes in the movie. I also liked they set up this bit where there's these guys across the street early on who keeps telling him, "Hey, Creepy, how's it going, Creepy? Come on, dude, huh? What do you want, huh, Creepy?" And you're sitting there going, "What the fuck's up with these guys?" And I'm trying to think of. There's a certain line. I wish I'd written this down. Where when Hoffman he goes over there, and says, "Hey, it's me. Who? It's the guy you called Creepy. You tried Creepy." I said, "Okay, well, what's going on, man?" "Well, see, I need you to go in, and I have a gun and I have clothes. I need you to steal them, but you have the rest of it." And he's like, I'm trying to see if I can find the line, damn it. Yeah, I don't know if I can find the quotes now. Because this is more talking about the book. Which I know the ending of the book is actually a bit different from the ending in the movie. Which I believe the author was a bit miffed that they changed the ending of the book. It's something to the effect of, well, what's the catch? The catch is dangerous. Oh, so that's not a catch. That's the fun of it. And something like that, I thought that was kind of a fun line. And I kind of like that, okay, there's some of you set up as these hoodlums, as these assholes who called Hoffman's character Creep, and yet here they are now, weirdly enough, the only assets that Hoffman can trust. And then you kind of buy into, hey, just take whatever you want. I got TV, I got all this stuff, you take whatever you want, I just need this stuff. And so it gives them something to do, it gives them a bit of fun to do, and then gives them a bit of profit as well. And weirdly enough, I could buy into it. May seem ridiculous to others, but I don't know, I could just buy into it. I don't know why. Gets with Elsa, they go to this country home, he realizes he's been betrayed. And just the way he's like talking, and just how he's kind of just drained emotionally, just saddened, and he's like not hysterical, but just like, but at the same time he's using his brain. And he does be able to get some comeuppance on people. Where William Devane gets there were two guys, there's a standoff. They try to kill Hoffman, but William Devane kills the two of them to get Hoffman's trust. He tries to leave. Elsa warns him. Devane kills her. Hoffman kills William Devane. Then you get the final confrontation with Laurence Olivier. Finds out where he's at. Leads him to a place. Here's an idea. You keep what you could swallow. What? Those diamonds. Whatever you swallow, you keep. Now, if I understand in the book, the way it ended was, it was like, I think in the park, he shot the shit out of Laurence Olivier's character, and then police found him and quartered him away. Here, it's, I'm not going to swallow any more diamonds. It's a bit of a struggle. Hoffman throws the suitcase with diamonds. Olivier goes after it, stumbles and falls, and accidentally stabs himself. Now, granted, is that bit of, okay, well, what if Olivier didn't stumble? If he stumbled, what if he didn't accidentally fall on his own knife? There's a lot of circumstances that luckily happened. Part of me would have rather have had Hoffman shoot him. I mean, it's not like he already did shoot someone, William Devane. And this is the guy that killed his brother. Or at the very least, maybe if Olivier is going towards the diamonds and Hoffman, like, tits him in the ass, tits him in the back. If not the ass, like, kick him in the back. And then the guy stumbles down the stairs. I would like a little bit more. I think at least if Hoffman either shoves or kicks instead of just the guy stumbling. Because the guy has two left feet. Because the Nazis don't know how to have, your left and right. Come on, you do the whole marching. Sure learn how to walk, dude. So I guess I just wished, a little bit more, but they didn't. Then Hoffman walks out, throws the gun away into the water, and walks off. Now, I'm glad that they changed it where he doesn't get arrested. I like the idea of him trying to make the guy swallow diamonds. I like that. I mean, it's not as much suffering as I'm sure the whole dentist stuff, but I doubt swallowing diamonds is really a nice feeling. Maybe if he try to swallow two more, and then maybe by the third or fourth he gives up. Maybe a little bit. Let's a little bit more will on certain things. But I do think that the acting is rather good. There is some nice tension I thought with the chase scene, where they're chasing Hoffman and he escapes on foot. Cool to see Roy Scheider in there. It's just too bad he's not in it for the rest of it. It's not a badly shot film. I think the director definitely knows how to shoot his movies. Definitely easy to root for Hoffman's character. I mean, the whole line, "Is it safe?" is definitely a very famous scene. Very, very famous line. Because Olivier definitely delivers it well, and because the connotations of it, where it's going, it definitely leaves an impression. Like I said, I do wish the whole father angle was dealt with a bit later in the story. Part of me wishes Roy Scheider was with it throughout, because again, I wanted to see even more of Hoffman and Scheider together. Just a little bits I saw of them worked well together. At the very end, I wish he at least had one bit punch, kick, to really, this is for my brother. He doesn't have to say that line, but the mentality, would like to have seen that for all the suffering he gave to Hoffman, killing his brother, the dentist torture. I just wish he could have somehow been able to torture Olivier's character a bit more. But other than little bits here and there, overall, not a bad film. I do like it. Decent film. And yeah, take that for what you will. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.